Good day and welcome back to another DBZ Dokkan battle video. In this video we are going to be taking a look at just how good the physical Super Saiyan Goku and Super Saiyan Vegeta Angel are after their recent Extreme Z Awakening on DBZ Dokkan Battle Global. Now I've been very fortunate, I rainbowed these guys quite a while back and I also link leveled them. So this indeed will be a full link level 10 and a rainbow showcase. So we're going to be seeing some pretty good stuff out of them, hopefully. In terms of their EZA, there are a fusion category lead of 180% across the board and a physical type lead of 120%. They raise attack and defense for one turn and cause colossal damage to the enemy. They also raise attack and defense for one turn on their ultra super attack and cause mega colossal damage to the enemy. In terms of passive, they have attack and defense of 180% at the start of turn, with a medium chance of performing a critical hit and a medium chance of evading the enemy's attack, including their super attack. They have Ki +2 in addition per rainbow Ki sphere obtained, and they will fuse when conditions are met. Those conditions are that they will fuse when HP is 50% or below, starting from the 6th turn from the start of battle. So, pretty solid in terms of their base form. They have Kamehameha, Golden Warrior, Super Saiyan, Experienced Fighters, Prepared for Battle, Fierce Battle, and Legendary Power. They are also on Fusion, Pure Saiyans, Joint Forces, Movie Heroes, Super Saiyans, Kamehameha, Otherworld Warriors, Final Trump Card, Connected Hope, Powerful Comeback, Time Limit, Fused Fighters, and Bond of Parent and Disciple. Well, sorry, Parent and Child. Obviously, once they transform, they fuse into Super Gogeta. Super Gogeta raises his attack and defense for one turn on his 12 key and greatly raises defense for one turn, causes mega colossal damage to enemy, and partly lowers or greatly lowers attack and defense. There's also a full recovery of HP and has attacks effective against all types. Attack and defense of 200% at the start of turn, and performs a critical hit when attacking with a high chance of evading the enemy's attack for 3 turns from the start of turn. There's also a high chance of performing a critical hit and medium chance of evading the enemy's attack, including super attack, starting from the 4th turn from the start of battle. He has Ki +3 in addition per rainbow Ki sphere obtained. So overall, a pretty solid, obviously, change up, an improvement from before for sure. And of course, with the fusion comes the change of links. Just a small one, Experienced Fighters becomes Fused Fighter. But yeah, so we're going to take a look at how well they do on a fusion based team, and then we're going to see how well they do on a Pure Saiyans team, and just get a good idea of how well they're going to do overall. So yeah, obviously their EZA was a pretty nice improvement on what they were previously. Yeah, I guess before they only had 120% attack and defense, they now have 180%. They have the built-in dodge and crit chance now, which is pretty good. We have them in a pretty nice starting situation here. They're going to be having 233,000 defense, which is a very, very good situation. This is with support as well, so it's a very solid situation for them. 4 links active. We could get a little bit more active by putting them in the middle slot, but I'm just a bit scared of the Gogeta double supering and accidentally taking out the Super Saiyan 4s. But yeah, 7.2 million, pretty solid. They obviously get the medium crit from their passive. Because of their EZA, building them into additionals is definitely the best way to go. Once they are Super Gogeta, their attacks are effective against all types, and they have critical hits guaranteed. So you want to maximize that for the first 3 turns. Not to mention, their defense, even at a rainbow level, is not necessarily the highest. So you're going to want to probably have additionals so that they can super to really raise that defense up. If they hit 2 super attacks, then their defense looks a lot better. It's roughly around the 300k mark in their base form, and then it's a little bit higher in their fused form. I think, honestly speaking, considering some of the hardest challenges in the game do deactivate dodge, I actually think it's a little bit rough, their passive overall. I think they definitely could have a bit of an easier time. And I think they definitely could have had a better kind of passive given to them because of it, just because they disable dodge so frequently that Super Gogeta having a medium chance of evading the enemy's attacks just seems to be very, very low. I would rather he just has a high chance the whole way through. I think that would be a lot better overall, and you'll probably see a lot better outcome from him. Again, we're seeing pretty decent stats. Obviously, nothing too crazy. Here we've got 204,000 defense, which is decent. In this situation, we have a couple links active. No support on the rotation because the support from the strength Gotenks is not active. But 204k defense is pretty solid. Not spectacular. It's not crazy. It's not going to blow anyone's minds. But it's okay. It's decent. They do bring a full heal, which is something that's very valuable, especially in content like Red Zone, which definitely goes past the 6-turn limit for the most part. And that medium chance to crit does come in handy, and the evasion. So although obviously their defensive numbers aren't super high, they don't look massive on paper, they're still pretty effective. It's a very effective 200 and something thousand. Once they super, it becomes a pretty effective 250 or so thousand, which at the end of the day isn't bad. It's not bad at all. I definitely think they could have done with greatly raising on both their 12 and 18 key in both forms. I think that also would have helped them out a lot. Would have made them a little bit more, I want to say made them a little bit more functional. Not that they're terrible in any way, shape or form. I just think when you are easy-Aing LRs, and there's a clear difference between one and the other, because I do think Int Vegeta is definitely better than the physical Gogeta. I think overall you do need to kind of counteract that, especially when the one unit has a lot of its kit disabled, which kind of pushes against it, whereas Vegeta has, or the Int Goku and Vegeta do have that damage reduction, which comes in handy quite often. I just think overall they could have done a little bit more with this Gogeta. Small changes would have made it a really, really solid unit. Greatly raising defense on both 12 and 18 key aids the build process, really helps out in making them a lot stronger. It's not to say that they're bad. They're definitely a unit that's usable. I just think that they're not as impactful as you would like. Considering it's a Rainbow Link level 10 LR unit that just easy aid, and it has a maximum defense of 300k with 50% dodge chance is not that crazy. Just considering like the hype and how much effort is in this unit right now. I mean, it is a Rainbow unit. It does have full Link level 10s, and this is what you can get out of it. Offensively, they're more than fine. Very, very good. They are pretty solid offensively. I mean, we saw 7.2 million attack stat, which is very, very good. I think another hindrance to them is obviously their link set. When you look at their best linking partners, or just their link set in general, they only have 3 key from it. And although Rainbow Orbs do give them a lot of key, I think if they made their base passive have 3 key, it would have just been better, personally speaking. But with that being said, they are really solid, really, really good offensively. Medium chance of crit, 7.2 million off of their attack stats, which is pretty decent. A lot of attack links across the board, Kamehameha, Golden Warrior, Super Saiyan, Experienced Fighters. All of these are attack-orientated links. There's no big defensive links or links that kind of prioritize defense in any way, shape or form. So overall they look really, really solid. Here we've got 4 links active with them, which is pretty decent. We won't see them fire an attack stat here, which is obviously a little bit of a shame. But we've got 4 links active with them, which is pretty decent. They've got 207,000 defense. This is with a 30% support, so pretty solid, if not unspectacular. Very, very, for a Rainbow level, it's alright. I think they could have made it a little bit better. Again, I just think it's small margins. With a 200k defense, if you're greatly raising on your 12 key and on your 18 key, then your defense is really fine for events. I mean, you can see that with units like the physical LR, Captain Ginyu. He does more than fine in a lot of events because of that ability. to raise his defense and raise allies' defense. But yeah, overall, I think they could have just done a little bit more just to tweak the unit, just to kind of give it a bit more oomph, a bit more impact. But yeah, offensively, I think Gogeta is right where he needs to be. I think they just need the minor tweaks to make him defensively viable. You know, give him the ability to have 50% evasion the whole way through. Nothing wrong with having it, would just make his life a lot easier. Here we're going to see how well we can go. Obviously here, we're sitting with really solid defense. You can see again comparatively to the int unit, which is also Rainbow, but the int unit already starts with a higher defense just due to stats, which is obviously very good for the int unit. It makes it very, very solid overall. And I think that is something you do have to keep in mind. We can see the key issue, that missing key kind of biting them. When you don't have rainbow orbs, you're just not getting the same kind of performance that you want. 4.1 million on the 12 key from Vegeta, and you're gonna see a slightly higher attack set from Gogeta. That's kind of the trade-off, 4.9 million. You're trading the offense for the defense, basically. So Vegeta's got that little bit of that defensive nudge, whereas Gogeta or the Goku and Vegeta Angel, has a little bit more offensive nudge, which I think is fine. It's a good trade-off. I do like Gogeta's offense. I think some minor tweaks on the defensive side would have made them a lot better. Just greatly raising on 12 key and standard 50% evasion once Gogeta. I think that would have been everything they needed to do to make it a really, really impactful unit. But yeah, overall, obviously to talk about their linking partners. So in terms of their links, the priority is going to be prepared for battle. That's your biggest key link by far and should be your priority. Like I said, rainbow orbs can be slightly inconsistent, so you definitely need prepared for battle to make things function. Ideally also you're going to have golden warrior, so that you can maximize their key. That 3 key is really, really important, and I can't stress enough how important that 3 key is. And I think it's definitely something that's needed to not make the unit functionable, but definitely helps them out a lot. Or that key they need in their passive, and there are some decent units that give it. But like this AGL Gogeta, he's a bit aged, but he does give it. Unfortunately, he loses it when he transforms, which is a bit of a shame. But overall, you want to focus on prepared for battle, golden warrior. If you can grab Super Saiyan, fierce battle, those are very common attack links that'll be very helpful. If you can grab legendary power, that's also great. Units like this AGL LR Gohan share a lot of links with this unit, which is fantastic. Makes a really nice pairing. Together, I think it's a really, really solid pairing. Kamehameha, obviously great. Experienced fighters, a little bit more uncommon, but still a very, very impactful link. And yeah, overall, a very decent link set, just a little bit light on key, especially considering the lack of generational key from their passive. Another easy fix for the unit would have been just to give them +3 key or something in their passive. I think, well, not fix, but improvement for them that I don't think would have broken them. It's just an additional 3 key or even 2 key would have just really helped out in them getting their 18 key, which is quite pivotal to their overall performance, considering their damage drops off quite significantly when you don't hit the 18 key, which is obviously not an ideal situation. But yeah, overall, pretty solid stuff from Gogeta. I think, you can make them work in a lot of teams. The link set's not too bad to work around. So prepared for battle, Kamehameha, fierce battle, Super Saiyan, all fairly common. You can pair them up with a lot of other LRs. There's a lot of great LRs that link up with them. The strength Vegeta, the tech Gogeta, who obviously once transformed becomes like their best linking partner, pretty much across the board. So yeah, overall, you've got a lot of decent options, so you don't have to limit yourself. You can place these guys on a lot of teams. Just make sure you activate prepared for battle, and if possible, grab yourself a golden warrior. You won't regret it. It's probably going to help you out a lot at the end of the day, and realistically, you should be more than fine. But yeah, overall, really, really solid stuff. I do like their kit. I do like how they're being built out. And yeah, I think overall you should have a pretty decent time. Not going to say you're going to have the absolute best time, but you should have a pretty decent time. Shouldn't really have that many issues. But yeah, again, it's just going to depend on you, and it's going to depend on realistically what your box looks like, what kind of team you can build around them. Ideally, you want to stick them on a 200% lead. You really want to maximize the high base stats that they have, which I think is very important to using them correctly. You do want to maximize their stats as much as possible. They have very high base stats, which obviously get factored into their passive, which is why their passives are so simple and not multiplicative. But yeah, so basically you really do want to try and keep that level of consistency across the board. Give them a high leader skill, cater to their key needs. Ideally, they're also a very good floater. They do a lot better after super defensively, and that heal will come in handy. So running them as a floater is a more than advisable option, and you can probably have a pretty decent time doing that rather than leaving them as a main unit, especially in red zone fights where you're going to take on a strength unit. It is probably advisable to push these guys off the rotation, and yeah. But that's going to be it from me. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a like or leave a comment, and I'll try to reply back. But as always, thank you so much for watching, and bye.